Hello, and welcome to day 34 of my 365-day live stream experiment. So I'm just going to make sure I'm connected. So while I'm making sure everything's good, I'll just wait for people to get notifications that I'm on. I'll just introduce myself. So in case you're new to my page, I'm Marie Fleming Grant, and I am creator of the Awake Revolution, and I'm all about the inner world. So I help people to drop the baggage, wake up the real you, and revolutionize how you think, how you feel, how you live, how you create. So really that you can become all of who you came here to be. So that is my area. That is what I'm lit up and passionate about. And today I want to share with you something I was thinking about. So I was just kind of sitting here thinking what to talk about. And yeah, it's kind of off the back of a few things I saw today and just generally, and I want to share the key to everything. So obviously I'll explain that. But what this really is, this live stream particular one, is for you if you are someone who's transforming something, you're going through changes, you're creating, you're shifting, you're healing, releasing, all of that juicy stuff that I love. This is what I want to share with you today, is the key to everything. And really this is about going into the core of the thing. So this really applies to any area. So I know a lot of you are working on, say, your health or your money situations, your business, your relationships. Those are the kind of key pieces, or just kind of your own personal development, your, with everything going on in the world, you're shifting and all of this amazing stuff. So I want to just kind of help you get to the core of the thing that's really going to help you move forward. So hey Darren, evening, candles, fire, wine. I'm relaxing with my dogs. I love it. Looking for my next adventure and awaiting my next purpose. Brilliant. I love it. You're in the right place. And yeah, it's a really cozy day, right? I'm feeling the same. I have my candle here. And when I've done this, I'm going to go downstairs and just get super cozy with the lightning and the thunder and the rain and all of that. So yes, it's good. It's a good Sunday, right? Not so good if we have to be outside, I imagine. So yeah, so the key to everything then, and what I want to just start by saying is often, like, let's take kind of something obvious like weight loss, right? Or becoming healthier, or even creating an online business, right? Storms outside, warm inside. Yes, exactly. So we take the thing that we want to create. And so let's say, like, typical, you want to like become healthier, right? So typically we would go and do things like diet, and we'll exercise, and we do kind of change our nutrition and all of these great things. So all of these things are important, but the key to sustaining that, and the key to really really having that last in your life in deeper ways, not just kind of maybe just with the weight loss, but with the actual health, is to go deeper into that and to really look at your inner world. So I know, as I'm saying that, a lot of you that tune into my messages, you're so clued up about that, because that's partly why you follow what I share. But I want to just kind of help you go into that a little more deeply, because sometimes when you sort of share strategies, or you follow, a lot of people follow different programs, different ways of doing things and creating things, and there's a lot of disappointment that comes from they followed XYZ blueprint, and it either limits, there's a limitation with what they found, or it doesn't really stick. So what I'm talking about is, I suppose, instead of sort of surface level change, I'm talking about deeper level transformation. So I saw it a lot when I used to work for the Optimum Health Clinic, helping people with their recovery. So this is the journey that I was on personally, and I saw it with a lot of people that used to come into the clinic, and they were so disillusioned with some of the programs and courses and promises and things that they had really tried to use, right? And this is why it becomes frustrating. You're trying to get to the answer of the thing, whatever the thing is for you, and you're sort of bypassing. So we do all the kind of surface things like, rest, sleep, try and fix these, these things. With dating, for example, it would be speak this way, communicate in this way, have a makeover, right? Dress in a certain way, choose where you go out, and all of these kind of very surface level things. So the key to everything, really, and I'm always being reminded of this by my guides when I check with them. If I see certain things and I say, hey, is this what do you think of this? I always ask their opinions and advice, and they often say you cannot separate one thing, one area with the conversation around energy, frequency, vibration, right? So it's almost like, so what I'm trying to say is whatever area you're looking at, so let's say your goal is to become aligned, right? Your goal is to know your purpose. Your goal is to have weight loss. Your goal is to get into a great relationship. Your goal is to recover from the thing. Your goal is to set your business up, create more income. Whatever your goal, top level goal is, you can go through lots of different levels of that, different ways of working. But if you go into the core of the core of the core, which the way I see it is the key to everything, if you go into the energy, frequency, vibration that you are operating in, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a shortcut, but what it does is it cuts through all the layers. So you're going kind of directly from the top goal into all these layers, and you're going right into the root. And instead of just kind of picking off the leaves from the top of the plant, you're pulling it from the root, and you're really going deep. So it's just, I just wanted to share that with you because I saw a few things today as I was just observing on the internet, as you do, and I get a little protective, I suppose, of people when I see sort of programs guaranteeing you do this, and I guarantee you'll have this result and it will work for you. And it's like, I've worked with so many people who've gone through certain promises and certain programs, and they become really depleted and exhausted because they've just been working on these surface level things. And not to say those things don't work, because they actually do. They actually can really create results, but we can't do like a cookie cutter approach. We're far too complex. And let's just add another layer there. Most of the people, and it would be you watching this and watching the replay, connecting with my general stuff I share, you're going to be old souls. You just are. And I know that old souls, you know, we have different levels of consciousness, and we have different memories, distant memories of how things are. And so sometimes those things that work for others, they don't always work for us in the same in the same way, because we're operating on a different consciousness. And it's not a superior thing, but it is a real thing. So that's why sometimes a lot of people can be stuck. There's a lot of stuckness. And by the time they come to me, often people have tried a lot of different things. And, you know, they may even have dabbled in some of the energetics, the energy, frequency, vibration, but maybe come at it from a very surface level. So it's not that it's complex, it's just understanding that we can't separate anything that we're doing from our own energy, frequency, vibration. So the way, just a really simple way of kind of understanding this is like, you're a magnet, you are an energy field, and depending on what that energy field is, you're going to align and line up with certain experiences, certain people, certain places. So it's like this: have you ever walked into a place and you've just immediately just felt very uncomfortable? You don't fit in, it's just the wrong vibe. You may or may not know what it is, but there isn't an alignment. You're not lined up with this particular place. There's a discomfort. You can go to some other place, could be with a person or whatever, and you immediately feel you belong because you're aligned with it. So we have a level inside of us that lines us up with certain messages, people, places, music, all sorts of different things. So the key to changing the outside is to change the inside. So, and that's very obvious to a lot of people, but I think sometimes we need the reminder, because we get very lost in the next shiny object, the thing over there. Like in the online space that I'm in, kind of entrepreneurs and creative people, it's so easy to go, oh, that course that's going to teach me that course is going to teach me that's the strategy, that's the thing, that's the next shiny thing. But it's always about coming back to your own frequency, your own vibration, because until you change that, you're going to change your outside behaviors and you're still going to attract the same thing. So I hope that makes sense. The best way, I think, the area that is most probably easy to understand this is relationships. So you could be this, you relate to yourself or someone that you can bring to mind, but we all know someone, ourselves or someone else, that you ever found yourself just getting into the same relationship again. Or you might have a friend that sort of dates different people, but they're like the same type of person in different bodies. That's because even though they've had enough and they've been hurt by the previous experience, if they haven't shifted, they're going to attract a very similar partner. I see this a lot. I see this a lot. Somebody can be really hurt and devastated over, something that's happened to them, and then they reach for a new relationship, and they might have done like a change. They might have started dressing differently, lost weight, have a different like idea about things, feel very free now they're out of this previous relationship. And then what they end up doing is attracting kind of the same, different partner, but same problems, the same things that come in. So that's a really good example of showing how it's the inner workings, it's our energy, frequency, and vibration. But I find that really reassuring because that means we can focus on us, right? We can absolutely focus on us. So let me know how that, I know that might bring up a lot for some people, but let me know what your thoughts are. I find, if I'm uncomfortable in some places, I change the vibe to comfort. Yeah, not always, but sometimes I can. Yes, and that's another thing, but you're in tune with that, right? You ever got into somewhere and then you can either shrink away, or you can just go, screw it, I'm here, I'm having a good time, I don't care what all these people are doing, I'm in my own vibration. So that's you being in your power, in your energy, and that's great, right? And when you do that, what you'll find though is because you've done that, you'll then create a certain experience where you'll just have a different experience in that same location that you would have had if you'd have gone in there and not had that awareness. So that's brilliant. Yeah, that's a really powerful thing, right? So yes, they're like bad boys, but always complain, then date another one. Yeah, so that is a common, and vice versa, right? So men do it about women, women do it about men. But absolutely, yeah, it's like complain, but then just date another one in a different body. That's because it's always an inner job. So the key to everything, like whatever, I can't even think of an example where this wouldn't relate. It's always an inner job. And I'm saying that even with physical stuff. So the reason I'm really I fully believe this is because I've gone through a physical illness where, let's say, and I tried a lot of different approaches, they would say, like certain professionals would say, no, this is about your gut or your mitochondria or your was it like kind of different nutrition types of things. And there are very concrete pieces, and actually those pieces are relevant. But if that's all I did, or that's all somebody did, they'd be missing this whole energetic piece. And for my recovery, even though it was so I'm not knocking anyone's physical, if you've got some physical stuff going on, but even physical recovery, any pain, any stuff that we hold in the body, physical, its origins is energetic. We've had to think certain things, feel certain things, hold vibrations in our body for long enough for the physical to manifest in our bodies. And that's exactly what I did. So I say that with so much love because I didn't release and process. So my body eventually started giving me signals. So it's really fascinating when you work on the physical. I worked with so many people with pain or physical things in their body. And when you actually, I've had people who have say fibromyalgia with chronic pain, you work on the emotional root, the key to everything, your emotions, your energy, your vibration, your frequency, deal with that. And guess what happens to the pain? Guess what happens to the physical stuff? And we know this because we've got stories, right, of people doing alternative methods around their tumors and all sorts of things that medical professionals would have said that there's no cure for, right? So we're energetic beings, so we have to factor in energy, frequency, and vibration. And thankfully this is becoming more and more mainstream, not nearly enough, but in our lifetime we're going to see it more and more and more. So I'm happy about that. So I have a good friend and she does it always. Yeah, for 20 years. She never ever learns, no matter what. Yeah. And there are people that do that only because they haven't understood or been empowered with the fact that it is inside of them. And when they stop focusing on right, out there, the other person, the goal, the thing that we're trying to aspire to, if we focus here and align ourselves with whatever it is by clearing whatever we need to and shifting our energy, frequency, vibration, all it is we don't have to then chase. We don't chase, we attract. So we release that chasing energy. Chasing energy is the old vibration of forcing, chasing, working super hard, whipping yourself, martyrdom, sacrifice, depletion, all of these things. We've been there, we've done that. We're in new energies now. we're going somewhere different. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me that there are people that do it for decades, right? So if you're watching this, watching the replay, know that whatever you're seeking, we still got to take the action, and we do it, but we create from a place of steadiness inside of us. And then you can almost just sit back, take aligned actions, but you're, as I said, you're attracting it rather than chasing. And that is a whole different energy. So at the beginning of my recovery, of course, I didn't know this. So I was chasing recovery. I was trying to make it happen. I was like being really achiever about it, right? I was like, I was going to meditate 20 times a day if it took me. I was trying to look out there for the methods, the things. And it really took me some time to kind of get the memo of, oh no, it's really inside of me. I can't push and make this happen. I have to sit with this inside of me. And sometimes that involves clearing things and releasing and healing things, because sometimes we hold, or often we do, we hold so much baggage, pain, emotional stories, feelings, traumas. We've been through things. Most of us have had a level of trauma. I don't think any human has not been traumatized in some way. I believe that we have different types of traumas. We're all traumatized in some way, shape, or form. And so we have so much inside of us that we get to clear and release, right? But just understanding how we work is so important. So the key to everything is always energy, frequency, vibration, your own inner workings. But that is the good news, because that's the bit you get to focus on. Because good luck trying to control anything or anyone out there. All right. You might have tried, you might be trying. And we know, don't we, eventually, that we can't control anyone else's response. We can't control what is happening in the world, but we can control, not even the right word, we can really sit with and connect to ourselves. And then we are in charge of our own power. We're in charge of our own focus, our energy, frequency, vibration, and the higher and stronger we can tap into through our life, the more we're doing good for the whole world and for ourselves, because we didn't come here to just kind of settle. So discomfort is good if you feel it. If you ever feel stuckness, that's okay. That's just a message to you that something else is needing your attention. But really, really, I encourage you to go deeper into yourself. And to give yourself that space, right? Sometimes that's just hang back and just let yourself feel and think, and just give yourself space. So on that note, this is what I do literally with people. And I have a lot of different ways of working. So if you're interested in checking out anything I have, just head to best place, theawakerevolution.com. Just go there, click on ways to work with me. I'll probably pop a link if you're watching the replay. You'll probably be able to find a link. I'll pop it somewhere in the description or the comments or somewhere. You can check that out directly. But there's different ways I work. So check it out if you want a guide, support, someone to kind of walk you through that. Because I know sometimes we can do it alone, and sometimes we definitely need outside help. And I've done both. And I continue to do both. But it's good news. We are that powerful. So I was bullied at school and really affected me. Yeah, but as I grew, became a security guard, doorman, bodyguard, changed my life to protect and be strong. Yes, would never have gone that route without my past. Yeah, exactly. And it does. It's your experience. It's shaped and molded you and all of that. So it's not about taking away from any of those experiences, but it's literally see it more as like it's a human condition. Being on the earth for this however many years, we pick up things about ourselves that half the time we don't even know we're running the program. So a lot of it we're aware of, but a lot of it is kind of lurking behind, and we don't even know that we really believe that about ourselves, right? We're so fascinating. The more I do this work in my life, I uncover layers constantly. It's never done. But yeah, I love that you recognize your experiences were valid, right? And it sounds like you turned something that was a real challenge into a massive strength, right? Which is a lot of people's story. We do that. We have an area of absolute challenge, difficulty, pain. And if we're conscious enough, we can take it and change it and grow and create something really powerful. And that's exactly what you've done. Yeah. And a lot of us have done that. So I love that. Arrive naked, leave naked. Yeah. Everything in between is the human experience, good and bad. Now I know. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a mixture. And we're not trying to, with all of this is what I'm talking about. We're not trying to get to a place of I never really talk about, or even in my messaging, talk about being happy, because happiness is very fleeting. Happiness is just a wave. We have moments where we feel it and then moments where we don't. I don't feel like it's like a static feeling, because we're too changeable, right? The way the world is. Maybe one day in the future, right, we'll probably have a different frequency here. But it's about really embracing like the highs, the lows, the ups, downs, and feeling solid. Like, imagine if we felt solid within ourselves no matter what's going on. That's a very powerful way to be. And that's exactly why there's so much going into the world's resources to disconnect us, right? There's so much of it. It's everywhere. So you want to be defiant, or work on yourself? You want to do a big fu to the authorities and people and entities and energies that are trying to sabotage humanity's growth? You want to defy that? Work on you, because that's the most. And I always ask, at the beginning of 2020, when everything kicked off, I was asking my guides, oh no, a little bit after that, I was asking my guides, because I felt very powerless and helpless. And I was like, well, what people are struggling out there in the world, like, is my business even relevant, right? That I had that kind of doubt about a year and a half ago. And what was shared to me was, it is the most important thing right now. So even when people, if we're going into this recession or different changes, different control mechanisms, right, the most powerful thing we can be doing is bringing it back to ourselves and really learning about ourselves, so we get rock solid. Like, know our triggers, right? Know what upsets us, know where our Achilles heels are, right? That's what I'm a big fan of. Like, know what like, I know I'm not a person that doesn't get triggered, but I recognize my triggers. I understand now when I'm triggered and I'm reacting, right, to something that's come up or happened. That is a powerful place. So know your triggers, understand yourself, know what kinds of thoughts you have, know and understand whether you're stressed or not, right? Because often it's when we're in an unconscious way of living, we have no idea about any of these things. Know what you love, know what you enjoy. A lot of people that work with me, if I've said, what do you enjoy? They're like, I don't know. So that they have to get to know themselves, right? So get to know yourself, understand what makes you tick, what triggers you, then go into it. Why does it trigger you? What does it remind you of? It will remind you of something that happened in the past. Everything I'm saying here is all energy, frequency, vibration. That's how you shift it. And it's just an incredible journey. So yeah, emotional waves are human nature. Yeah, and you can't be happy without sadness. Yeah, it's light and dark, right? It's not really dark, but it's polar opposites, so we get to kind of embrace all of it and stop trying to do this perfectionist thing. Like, I understand that, I walk that path. It's not about trying to perfect any of this. It's just about being real with yourself and understanding what comes in, right? It's just such a powerful, magical thing. So I know my feelings now, in touch with my emotions like never before. Oh, great. Feel, allow it to flow. Exactly. And emotions is how your energy flows. So talking about energy, frequency, vibration, the emotional piece is a massive piece of that, because if we're not feeling, and we're, as I said previously before, if you cut off those feelings that don't feel good, you're cutting off your ability to feel joy. So yeah, so getting in touch with your feelings, easier for some people than others, because if you've had a lot of traumas and things going on and you haven't felt safe, you're probably going to need the outside help, but that's okay. But yeah, just going on that journey. So we can be messy, we can just take one day at a time, and know that you're growing all the time. You're different to where you were a year ago, you're different to where you were a week ago. That's how different and powerful we are. So we get to shift and grow. So just understand, whatever you're in and whatever you're shifting, transforming, creating, just allow yourself to get into that deeper part, energy, frequency, vibration, anything around that, because that is the key to everything. It genuinely is the key to everything. I don't say statements like that a lot, but it really is. In this case, it's like the key to everything in our bodies, in the world, in the universe. It's literally the whole fabric of the entire existence. And humanity only knows the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot that we are yet to discover. And I think there are also, from what I know from my guides, there's a lot about our human bodies, our capabilities. We are only utilizing a very small percentage. There are amazing things we can do with our human selves that we haven't discovered it yet because we don't believe we can. But that will change, that will shift. And, it's like the 4-minute mile, right? As soon as somebody ran, a mile in 4 minutes, it could never be done before. And then as soon as someone did it, many people followed after them. So we always need the pioneers, the people to go first, right? So you might be a pioneer. Definitely. So, and you and your book and streams have helped loads. I'm so glad. Thank you. Because that is literally why I do what I do. That's my whole business centered around it. So whether or not anyone works with me, even the live streams I do, the messages I share, is to help, is to assist. So you don't ever have to connect with me. Those of you watching, even in person, you can just receive my messages through all these means. And for those people that are meant to work with me, you'll reach out and then we'll go deeper with that. So thank you, Darren, for letting me know that. That means the world to me. So I send you lots of love. Have a lovely Sunday. I feel really sleepy, actually. So I think it's like all these the candles and the coziness. I'm just going to go and chill out now. I don't know if it stopped raining. It's it was like thunder and lightning lighting up the windows about an hour ago, so I don't know if it stopped or not, but it's very cozy, so I'm going to make the most of that. And relaxed vibes, absolutely. So I send you lots of love. Talk to you soon. See you here tomorrow. Okay, see you soon.